The war in Ukraine and Western attempts to isolate Russia from military-related trade. U.S. are at the top of the order. U.S. and EU sanctions are still falling short for preventing many dual-use items from reaching the country. That's a category that includes everything from raw materials to electronics. One path is through Turkey.
Semiconductors and electronic components made in Germany top the list of goods the EU won't sell to Russia any longer. And yet, somehow that's exactly where they end up, by way of Turkey. The country does not support the EU's sanctions against Russia and doesn't abide by them. That's why Russian oil tankers are setting course to Turkey too. Their oil gets refined there before being sold in the EU as gasoline or some other product.
For maximum impact, we're targeting many industrial goods that Russia needs and that it cannot get through backfilling by third countries. Vital goods such as electronics, specialized vehicles, machine parts, spare parts for trucks and jet engines.
But it won't be easy to close all loopholes, as Russia sources sanctioned goods through a series of countries. However, some progress has been made. Banks from China, the United Arab Emirates and Turkey said they will no longer process payments for sanctioned Russian banks. That blocks Russia's easiest way of paying for its imports or getting paid for its exported resources.
Tobias Gerke is a senior policy fellow at the European Council on Foreign Relations. He joins me for more. Tobias, Turkey has denied that its firms are supplying military useful technology to Russia. What kinds of items are we talking about?
Well, a whole range of items. Turkey has become a key transshipment hub for exports to Russia. In the last year alone, Turkey increased its exports to Russia of over almost 100% or 90-something percent. Now, of course, not all of these exports are sanctions exports. Turkey more generally has become a key export hub of also its own products. But we do know that there is also activity going on of sanctions products. We have, for example, some reports of dual use and military grade goods that have been made their way to Russia via Turkey, plastics, steering wheels, certain chemicals used also in the military industry. We have some reports in this respect that props up Russia's military. More generally, dual-use goods are, of course, a wide category, including microchips, which also make their way these days through Turkey. Turkey has become the fourth largest, perhaps, exporter of semiconductors to Russia. So there's a range of products that make their way through Turkey to Russia, but not all of them are circumvention of sanctions.
As I said, Turkey has already denied that it's providing any sort of materials that are useful for Russia. What leverage do Washington and Brussels really have for curbing this kind of trade that they find problematic?
It's a difficult diplomatic game. Turkey denies, of course, its actions. However, domestically, we do know that the government is also actively perhaps driving a campaign. It has been very outspoken about the negativity of sanctions. And so domestically, Turkey is very much lobbying its role of filling the gap of the global economy under sanctions. So what leverage? There is, I think, leverage. One part is that, of course, there's a circumvention activity that's going on in the private sector. And to really cramp down this kind of circumvention, we need the support of the Turkish government to really enforce and clamp down on these sanctions. So we need to get Turkey and the Turkish government onto the table. There are currently different methods to try this, whether pressure or whether inducement, but pressure is increasing.
You mentioned the finance sector. What role does that play when we see that there are specific sanctions targeted at financial transactions? Is that a more effective way to go about curbing some of this trade?
Yes, certainly. The key financial players who are facilitating much of the trade are key hubs in this trade. These are often private individuals that need to be identified. We need the intelligence. It demands a lot of intelligence and data gathering, something that is increasing, and then really clamping also down on these specific players, threatening them with market access, threatening them with financial sanctions. This is the route that we might be going towards. But at the same time, again, there needs to be some sort of cooperation with the Turkish government. It cannot be all done by targeting individual banks or individual traders only. It has to be sort of a double strategy.
All right. That's Tobias Gerke with the European Council on Foreign Relations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.